Once upon a time when the sun fell low, the village of Nkyene glowed red like fire that never sleeps. The drums were soft in the wind. Even the goats walked slowly, as if they knew the night was listening. Abena swept her yard like a queen. Dust rose golden, bowing before her broom. The villagers whispered, saying her ground shone like water after rain. The clay floor was smooth. No leaf, no dirt, no shadow dared remain. Pride was in every sweep. The people watched with whispering mouths. They admired her, but fear sat under their tongues. One woman said the ground was too clean and warned that pride blinds even the wise. Under the Iroko tree, the elders sat still as stone. Their silence was heavier than thunder. At last, one elder spoke, saying, "A broom can sweep more than dust. It can sweep the living into shadow." But Abena only smiled. Sweat and pride lit her face like fire that rain cannot kill. The broom turned in circles, and the world seemed to turn with it. Her pride rose high, daring the spirits themselves. She laughed and said no one could stop her, for the ground obeyed her. In the bright day, Abena still swept her yard with proud, strong strokes. Dust curled golden around her, and her beads sang with each sweep. From the edge of the frame came the old woman, bent on her staff. She walked slow, every step pressing into the red clay, her shadow stretching toward Abena. The old woman drove her staff into the clay. The ground cracked. The old woman fixed her eyes on Abena. Her voice was rough, heavy with age, and she said the words the ancestors had kept. "The broom of night destroys." Abena only smirked, her chin lifting as if she had not heard the weight of warning. Then Abena laughed, her teeth flashing in the sun. She said with mockery that if the broom belonged to spirits, then let them come. She would sweep when she pleased. The villagers saw and pulled back. Men folded their arms, whispering low. Women bent close under their head wraps, their beads trembling. The old woman only shook her head. Her eyes sank with grief, as if she had already seen the curse written in dust. Beneath the great Iroko tree, the elders gathered. Their lips moved as one, voices rolling like thunder. They said together the words that echo through time. "The broom of night destroys." Their chant shook the air, and the silence after was heavier than stone. Abena pounded yams, thud after thud, but louder than the pestle was her mouth. She copied the elders, turning their warning into a joke. She laughed and said, according to that old woman, the spirits would come, that the broom of night destroys. Then she mocked them, daring, "Let them try." By the water the women spoke, their eyes flicked quickly like fish, breaking the surface. One woman whispered that Abena's pride would choke her, and another woman said, "A goat laughs until the rope pulls." Near a clay wall, men bent close. Their voices were low, rough with fear. A man muttered that even the earth grows tired of pride, and that the ancestors were listening. Abena walked through the market with a grin on her face. Every whisper made her steps louder, not smaller. Behind her, people said she dared the night, and that her laughter would turn to dust. The yam feast shook the ground. Drums hit hard, feet stamped, fire burned bright. The night was full of noise and joy. Abena danced in the torchlight. Her beads rattled, her skin shone with sweat. Pride sat on her face. The crowd called her name. They said she was the queen of the feast. Palm wine bubbled into a calabash. Hands reached fast, mouths opened eager. Goats turned over fire, fat dripping into flames. People laughed. Children stuffed their mouths with yam until their cheeks were full. When the feast was done, Abena walked home. The moon lit her steps, laying silver light on the red clay. Her husband lay drunk, his calabash fallen by his hand. The children curled on mats fast asleep, but the ground was dirty, yam crumbs, goat bones, palm wine spilled across the clay. Abena's eyes grew hard. Her pride rose again, stronger than sleep, stronger than warning. She said her house would not shame her. She struck the flint. The lamp caught. In her other hand, the broom waited, and the wind itself seemed to whisper that the broom of night destroys. The broom dragged on the clay. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Each stroke was louder than drums in the quiet night. The whole yard stopped. Frogs, crickets, even the night itself went quiet. The bats folded their wings. They hid, waiting for what was coming. The lamp bent, sideways as if something unseen breathed across it. Dust lifted from the ground and did not fall. It spun in the air, circling like smoke. It grew thicker. It curled around the room. It moved as if it was alive. Then eyes appeared, red, burning, open inside the storm. Abena stopped. Her broom shook. Pride left her. Only fear stayed. She whispered, "Cha, no, no," her voice breaking. The dust rose higher. It swallowed the hut. It swallowed the lamp. Everything was stormy. The dust spun high, and from it the ancestors walked out. They were tall like shadows, their faces hidden in the storm. One grandmother's eyes glowed empty, filled with fire and sorrow. She spoke, her voice heavy, saying Abena had mocked the night. Abena looked up. The ancestors stood over her, their smoke robes wrapping her like chains. Together they spoke that the broom of night was not hers. Her hands shook, but she swept harder. The broom cut the clay. She shouted she did not fear them. Their eyes burned red, fire inside the dust. They said her bloodline would carry the curse. The hut broke apart. Dust burst into the night like a flood. In the forest clearing, the witches waited. Their eyes glowed like hot coals. They stretched their calabashes, catching the cursed dust as if it was treasure. Their leader laughed, saying they would drink Abena's pride. One old witch spat into the dust. She tied it with red thread. With a snap, Abena's fate was sealed. They danced under the moon. Their shadows twisted as they circled. Their voices rose together, chanting the curse. They said the broom of night destroys again and again. The curse spread across the land. Yams rotted in the soil. Goats gave birth, but only death came out. Even the wine turned bad. Foam grew dark, smelling like rot. Her husband's money vanished. The coins slipped like smoke, gone in the wind. He cried out that all was lost. The children came back with baskets empty. Their feet dragged. Their hands shook with hunger. Abena's pride was gone. Her eyes were hollow. Her skin was dry like dust. The neighbors spoke in the shadows. Their words cut deep. They said, Abena swept at night and brought this on herself. At last, Abena sat weak at her doorway. The village children gathered, waiting for her words. Her lips shook. Her voice cracked as she gave the truth. She said, when the sun hides, the broom belongs to spirits. The elders stood behind her. They nodded slowly. The lesson was sealed. As night came, the people lifted their brooms high. The curse turned into memory. The warning lived on.